So, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wasn't intending on starting the off season quite so soon, but having put a poll out on my Instagram page, a few of you have actually voted and said, do you want me to sort of crack on, record today's leg session and, essentially sort of take you through step by step in terms of how the rebound phase is going to look, how training is going to look and how things are going to be sort of moving forward. So today I've got legs on the cards, and I'm not going to lie, this session is going to get sent because I've not trained legs properly for a few weeks now. Obviously with back-to-back peaks and what have you, it's not worth sort of training legs and creating that inflammation and fatigue. But now we have the green light to kind of go for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be going 100% hell for leather in these sessions because we're kind of in that stage now of injury risk and whatever. But had my first meal this morning, which, don't get me wrong, at the moment I'm absolutely ravenous. Cravings are through the roof and all I want is cookies, but you know what, I can't have them because the intent right now is to kind of get this water weight off, which I've made a good dent in already. But yeah, it's 11:15, which I'm not going to lie, this morning's kind of messed me up a little bit, what with the clocks changing. I keep looking at the clocks in the house and it's showing an hour later than what it actually is. But yeah, I'm about to sit and have my pre-workout meal, shoot off to the gym and train, got Sunday errands to run, which just for the crack, I might take you with me, just sort of around Aldi and whatever. But yeah, legs on the cards at next level. Full session today, none of this pumpy stuff anymore. Check-in was actually pretty good this morning, really happy with the shape. Obviously, there's still about another 4 pounds or so water weight to drop. And yeah, we're sort of ready to go. Having checked in with you this morning, I think we're going to kind of start the rebound from tomorrow, which will be exciting. Everything's all back in play, which is sweet. Feeling pretty good now that I've had a chance to sort of breathe, a chance to kind of have a bit of a reset. I've kind of hit that little bit of come down phase and now I'm kind of on that upward slope back up because I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into the off season. Got a lot to kind of bring up in the way of, it's only a short list, in terms of delts, in terms of chest, in terms of my back as well, which is where I need the main amount of development. And, that's in terms of back width and back density, or back thickness, I guess you could say. Got a bit of mass to add on my hamstrings. Quads aren't so much of a problem, but obviously they're going to naturally grow during the off season anyway. Basically to kind of bring an even better package into the 2026 season, which I'll kind of go into a little bit more in depth in sort of like future episodes in terms of what we're looking at next year, because I won't really have that much of an idea until the show calendar gets released, say first thing in the new year, which means I'm going to be checking for the calendar to come out at least every week between now and the new year so I can kind of set plans in motion. But the 2026 season and what we need to do to kind of get into the season excites me so much. Like, I'm really happy with both showings in terms of being at the PCA in Hull, being at the PCA British finals, which I didn't think was going to happen. But we made it, we got there, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty damn obsessed by this absolute thing of beauty. Walking away with this itself, with the badge number on there obviously, walking away with this itself is the biggest achievement for me in the 2025 season. I'm so happy that I made it there. And, we're now a week on, which it's honestly crazy to say, but I'm so excited for the off season. And, we're sort of starting to make moves forwards as to like how it's going to run. Training is going to get changed up, which is obviously quite exciting. Starting a new job this coming Thursday, which, may well have already started by the time this comes out. Filming with some really good friends over the next couple of weeks. Got a session booked in with a videographer another week after, which would be good. It'd be nice to have sort of some more like professional pieces, I guess you could say, going on my channel. And, I'm not necessarily going to do these sort of vlogs every week, or say, every week. It'll probably be sort of like once a month. If anything changes, there'll be updates and so on, just to kind of keep things in check because, I've actually really enjoyed running my YouTube channel over the last few months. And, as I said by a post on my Instagram page, I didn't actually think that I was going to kind of carry on through it. I've done the odd video for my YouTube in the past, but I've never had this amount of videos in the listings. Feel free to go back and look through and sort of take a look at, how these last couple of preps have gone, or last couple of peaks and shows and whatever has gone. But now I'm at a point where I've sort of reached sort of decent amount of number of subscribers. Yes, it's not thousands. I'm not particularly asked about the views or subscribers or anything like that. These are purely so that I can go back in years to come and kind of reflect on how the show season's gone. But anyway, enough of my waffling. I need to shave my head because my hair's starting to grow back, which I don't particularly want. So I'm going to go and get this whipped off. I'm going to jump in the shower, freshen up a little bit, get changed, eat my pre-workout meal, and then shoot off to the gym and train. So I'll catch you at the gym in a little while. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So finally made it to the gym, and as you can probably see, we're now a couple of movements deep. Well, say a couple. We're on the third movement. Started on leg extensions because the adductor was taken, so I went from the leg extension to the adductor. Now we're on the pendulum, which to be fair, this one feels pretty decent. I've never used anything Predator strength before, but it feels really quite good. It's quite a heavy machine, I'm not gonna lie, so probably not gonna be able to load it too much. I've been looking forward to this session for quite a while, and we purposely pulled this out before finals because of inflammation in my quads. But now we're essentially approaching the off season, and the plan moving forward is to kind of go into sort of like the rebound phase or reverse, however you want to look at it. And now actually start to build. Like this morning, I was kind of fucking with Ewan a little bit, saying one more last hurrah. But then both Ewan and my trusty camera girl Emma both said to me, no one's here for your bullshit at this time on a Sunday morning. So yeah, bit of a reality check. So yeah, from tomorrow we start the reverse and then start to grow, which is exciting. But so far so good on this session. After this, move on to the leg press, then hamstring work, then abductors, and then go and get some food. Because I'm not gonna lie, already things are getting hard, and it's often like the misconception is that coming out the back of a show is easy, but it's not. If anything, it's harder than being on prep itself, because your hunger's through the roof, your cravings are through the roof, and you know, you're just in a point where you want to eat everything, but you can't. So yeah, it's time to send the rest of this session, and then yeah, grab something to eat.
This how I move, hey, yeah. This is how I move, I don't never lose, I don't pick and choose. You can make the news, make the eyes and ooze. Whip it fast to the dash, I don't never cruise. I'm forever cool, this is how I move, I don't never lose, I don't pick and choose. You can make the news, make the eyes and ooze. Whip it fast to the dash, I don't never cruise. I'm forever cool, this is how I move, I don't never lose, I don't pick and choose. You can make the news, make the eyes and ooze. Whip it fast to the dash, I don't never cruise. I'm forever cool. I'm moving on my toes with the tools to take your soul. I ain't cool with all these hoes, but I'm cruising on the road. These stories that I told, there's no glory for your soul. Trying to get the pot of gold, but I do it on the low. This is how I move, I don't never lose, I don't pick and choose. You can make the news, get the eyes and ooze. Whip it fast to the dash, I don't never cruise. I'm forever cool. Now we sliding through some obstacles, flying somewhere tropical, burning cock, then we popping you. All these thotties on top of you, lightning, thunder is shocking you. Now they claim that it's stopping you. The cause is not probable, they off, so they mocking you. Handcuffed and locking you, feds looking, they clocking you. Now you feeling crazy, but you paranoid and grip your 80. Cause the cops are moving shady, and they killing babies, trying to play me, shoot in my direction, and they almost grazed me. This is how I move, I don't never lose, I don't pick and choose. better to go always way better. Move like MacGyver with lions and tiger shooters and sniper apes and gorillas mixed with killers. If they try to drill us, then they better kill us. Cause I'm with some good fellas.
So that's 2 sets, working set and back off set on the pendulum done, and it felt so unbelievably good. Very good pendulum, to be fair, having never used it before. Working set I got up to 35 kilos, which doesn't sound like a lot. I've done like 3 plates in the past, but you know, the emphasis here is to try and grow my quads, not necessarily shifting weight. Felt good through my knees, felt good through my joints. Did hit my lower back a little bit, but it's absolutely fine. So now we're just on the Cybex leg press. Again, 1 top set, 1 back off set, 1 8 to 10 and 1 10 to 12. And then it's onto the hamstring work, which normally I fly through because I don't need so many like warm up sets and what have you. Generally because my legs are pretty warm as it is, I'll do 1 feeler set, straight into the working set, straight into the back off set. Like no fucking around, because at that point, there's not really much point. In the past, I would do like 2, 3, 4 warm up sets, which generally I do when I do leg extensions, but this late on in the session is generally not worth it because then you're just wasting energy. So try and focus on that point. Try not waste too much energy as you go through your sessions, because you're going to need that as you get towards the end and you start to kind of flag a little bit. So probably add maybe another 2 plates and then just take this for a working set. So let's see how we get on.
Follow a code. That ain't something y'all niggas live by no more. Yeah, what it is, to each his own. Yeah, they cannot stop how I rock. Drip is a mess like my motherfucking socks. She told me to love her, I said I cannot. I'm in love with drugs, money and Glocks. Look at the way that I'm shining, I'm gleaming. I'm stacking the bread to the motherfucking cellar. They call me the baker, I cook up this melly. Take care of my fan, that's a very good feeling. I live by a code, loyalty I never fold. These haters just stay at my pose. I'm blessing the beat, now I'm wiping my nose. My brothers 10 toes till we go. No fall in love with no hoes. I'm changing my diet to go. Hit it the blood and I'm ready to go. Who said I can't change the flow? Check when you're messy a hoe. Scheming and knowledge, profits and profits. My pockets get fatter, I feel like fat apple. You cannot lie, I'm a very good rapper. I'ma just change my profession to actor. I'ma just stand up and preach like a passer. Feel like I just blew a million ammo. Dump the whole clip, yeah, they call me a rapper. Come from the bottom, only one way I can go. On the islands, I post trends like a banjo. And highly a rendezvous with a rainbow. My city litty, automatic with it. Got my pencil dripping like a fashionista. I don't fuck with haters, I don't fuck with leeches. And I got a bitch so you can lay me hickeys. If the talk is money, then we conversating. If it's not, then it was nice to fucking meet you. I'm on the road, sometimes I'm alone. Can't catch me lacking, I stay with the pole. Looking around, where did my mind go? I don't even know what I still live by the cool work. They cannot stop how I rock. Drip is a mess like my motherfucking socks. She told me to love her, I said I cannot. I'm in love with drugs, money and Glocks. Look at the way that I'm shining, I'm gleaming. I'm stacking the bread to the motherfucking cellar. They call me the baker, I cook up this melly. Take care of my fan, that's a very good feeling. In a G-class Benz, but I whip it like a Honda. Know a lot of bitches I ain't fond of. Flow get back like a semi-auto chopper. I'm the type of leave a dead body by the bouncer. Yeah, bitch, I'm a chico, but I'm judged like a roster. Yeah, Luigi getting cheese like pasta. Smoke your greens for you end up at the doctor. Feel my nigga do it 10 years, manslaughter. The hate from outside, they ain't can't even get in. If we got beef, then I'm dropping my pen. I could lose it all, then get it back again. Got up by the streets, I turn it to the man. Moving like a G, I never change my plan. Slap a nigga stupid if he acting like my king. Prove loyalty, we gon' be royal to the end. Learn that in the South, ain't no such thing as friends. Shout out the real ones that still riding with me. All of my niggas just turned up the city. We really not stopping till we reach a milli. And then it's a billy, and then it's a trilly. I'm on the road, sometimes I'm alone. Can't catch me lacking, I stay with the pole. Looking around, where did my mind go? I don't even know what I still live by the code. They cannot stop how I rock. Drip is a mess like my motherfucking socks. She told me to love her, I said I cannot. I'm in love with drugs, money and Glocks. Look at the way that I'm shining, I'm gleaming. I'm stacking the bread to the motherfucking cellar. They call me the baker, I cook up this melly. Take care of my fan, that's a very good feeling. They cannot stop how I rock. Drip is a mess like my motherfucking socks. She told me to love her, I said I cannot. I'm in love with drugs, money and Glocks. Look at the way that I'm shining, I'm gleaming. I'm stacking the bread to the motherfucking cellar. They call me the baker, I cook up this melly. Take care of my fan, that's a very good feeling. place I can't go. Nothing I can't buy. I'm too goddamn fly, super casual, fragilistic, HP halitosis. Bankroll so vicious like halitosis. Bitches they striking, they posing, I'm looking like money, yep, and they know it. Rhymes filling the cup, bartender, you know I'm a poet. Got me feeling Oaklandish, oh so damn I'm a grow. Tell my niggas what's happening. Put my city on the mad with the dancing fast and rapping trap. Whipping the money like 4 ways. Crime time, no off days. Whipping the legal when crime pays. Do it for my people rocking no J's. Work for myself, I ain't no slave. Bankroll, bankroll, bankroll. Blowing cookies in that purple haze.
So that's this week's leg session finished. Wasn't really much talking going on, but I think I've done enough of that over the prep series, to be honest, in terms of you having to listen to my voice all the way through. Overall, very good session. Really rate it. Very happy with the numbers moved across the board. Got a shit ton of energy, which is nice for a change rather than feeling drained going into each session. And, you know, even though I've been sort of training for a good few years now, it's one session that still kind of sits in my head and kind of gives me a little bit of anxiety. But that's absolutely normal. It's the same with a lot of people. We've officially signed up with Next Level, which is a bit of a result, because I really do rate a lot of their leg kit. Obviously, there's a few pieces in there that I won't use, but that's just how it goes with most gyms. So currently sat in Lidl car park, and I don't know if you can see over my shoulder that the weather is absolutely miserable, and it has been since, I think, Thursday, maybe Friday. It's literally rained for the last 3 days, which isn't great. But yeah, just sat in Lidl car park, had to run in and get a few bits because I forgot to pick up blueberries yesterday when I was out and about. And I'm literally just about to get in my post-workout meal, which looks like quite a hefty meal, to be honest. Chicken, rice, green beans, salt, and pineapple, which is much needed. And I think I may have to get another meal in as soon as I get home, because it is now 20 past 3. And I'm not going to lie, even where the clocks changed this morning, it really did kind of fuck me up a little bit. And it still has, even though we've essentially gained an hour. I think we've gained an hour. Yeah, it kind of messed with my head a little bit, because I walked in the house and the clocks were showing one thing, my phone was showing another thing, and I'm like, how does this even work? So yeah, when I get home, I'm going to do sort of like a little bit of, say, a debrief from show season, kind of explain to you a little bit more about how this off season is going to roll, and essentially what we're looking to get out of it. I'll also cover judges' feedback from both Hull and from the finals, which I got some pretty generous feedback, which is always quite nice. And yeah, I think I'll kind of leave it at that as kind of the first video back. Now it's a bit weird, because obviously I'm not necessarily lacking any direction right now, but I do kind of feel in a bit of a limbo stage, because obviously all I'm trying to do at the moment is strip water off, and I've got my eye firmly set on like the reverse, the off season. And, you know, having sent you across my pictures this morning and my weight, we're actually pretty happy with sort of where my composition's at the moment. There's still a little bit left to go. I'll actually stick my video up from where I did my pictures. Initially went in the disabled toilet in Pure Gym, but the lighting was pretty shit in there. So ended up going into the studio. There's only like 2 people in there at like 5 o'clock this morning. So ended up doing my pictures in the studio, and still kind of showed something. And, you know, it'll be sort of relatively straightforward from here, really. But anyway, I'm going to get this meal in, because I'm not going to lie, I'm starving. And yeah, get home, and then I'll do sort of like a bit of a sit-down debrief, and yeah, sort of wrap the video up from there. So one thing that we've purchased in the last couple of weeks has actually been a really decent purchase, aside from the creamy, obviously, which is far superior, is we got rid of the air fryer that we had, because it wasn't really cooking very much. And we got a Ninja Speedy. So it means you can do all sorts in it. You can air fry in it, you can roast in it, bake in it. Been steaming my chicken, and steaming it has made it so much better. So I think I cooked this maybe 2 days ago. 2 days. Yeah, Friday I cooked this chicken. And it's still nice and moist now, and it's not gone like how steamed chicken normally goes, where it goes all mushy and horrible. I've also been eyeing up a Ninja Crispy for like when we go away to shows and that sort of thing. I mean, even in the Speedy, you can stick in like your rice, your chicken, your veg, and literally cook a whole meal. So when my food volume goes up during the off season, it'll be dead handy, especially when I'm at home. I can literally put a full meal in it, steam it, and it will cook my rice and everything, and then go back and you've got a fresh cooked meal. So I'm not eating like like say pre-prepared rice from out the fridge or pre-prepared chicken from out the fridge. So if you haven't tried one and you're like, oh, my chicken's always dry as fuck, get yourself a Ninja Speedy. They're not cheap, but honestly, it makes eating chicken so much more bearable because there's nothing worse than eating dry chicken. I've been there, I've done it, and I've done it probably for the last like 2-3 years, and it's just shit. So to get a discount, use code, I'm joking, I'm not really sponsored by Ninja, but if I had a code, I'd give it out and it would save us a shit ton of money. So it's time to get home whilst Emma drives and get the rest of this meal in. So just to round off this vlog, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I'm due to be jumping in the bath literally any minute. But I just wanted to give you an update in terms of like how things are going to look going forwards and roughly how we've sort of mapped out, say, the next few weeks on the build up to Christmas and also the build up and sort of into the new year. So right now I am sort of in the process of dropping the water weight that I've accumulated since the finals. And once that's gone, we're then going to start to like reverse out of this phase, with the aim to sort of go through about an 8-week health phase where obviously the aim is to get healthy. At the end of that phase, we'll then like run bloods to see how like my health is and where that sits. And that's purely because of some of the compounds that I ran during prep and, you know, the levels of toxicity that my body would have reached. It allows everything to kind of recover, settle back to normality, for hormones to recover and basically just to become human again. Even though sort of like over the last week or so, I do feel a lot more normal, especially where like my food's had a bit of a bump up by sort of like 300 to 400 calories on both a training day and a rest day. My head's a bit more with it. I'm a bit more sort of awake and alive and actually sort of like, I guess you could say, living life, enjoying training. And already in the last week or so, I've already noticed sort of like a small amount of progress in the gym. Now, the reason why we're doing this, we could start pushing from the point where I am now, but all that's going to result in is sort of an accumulation of body fat, which is obviously what we don't want. That then eats into sort of like insulin sensitivity and actually being able to successfully grow muscle whilst everything is all sort of like in line, I guess you could say. It's one phase that a lot of people generally sort of like underestimate when they're coming out the back of a show is they'll accumulate a lot of water, they'll accumulate sort of a small amount of body fat, and then they'll try and go into a growth phase and all they're doing is they're literally, as I say, just accruing body fat, which is what we don't want. Now, within sort of like the next sort of 8 to 12 weeks is absolutely prime time for growing a decent amount of muscle tissue and very quickly. This also means that in terms of like the cycle I'm on at the moment, it's very minuscule in terms of what I'm taking in comparison to what I was on prep. Everything's basically down to, I guess what you could say is an advanced TRT level of a testosterone base, masteron base, and there's a few other bits and pieces in there just to sort of bring health into check. And, you know, as I've already said before, is to allow hormones and that sort of thing to recover. And once we've got through that phase, which is going to come with a lot of downsides in terms of hunger, in terms of cravings, and it's a case of not getting that shiny object syndrome and sort of like, I guess you could say, feeding them cravings. We want to kind of keep appetite in check through the off season because we want to make sure that that's at a decent point. So obviously it makes it a lot easier in terms of food and whatever going in. And then once we're out the other side of that 12-week phase, we've got bloods back, then we can sort of start to look at really growing sort of like over a decent period of time. Now, I've kind of got rough figures in my head of like how long the growth phase is going to last. And I'm sort of like eyeing up between May and June sort of time, which gives like a decent, I guess you could say, sort of like between 7 and 9 month off season, which is absolutely perfect because obviously I want to go again next year. The feedback from the judges off the back of Hull is they wanted to see sort of say more in terms of upper body. They want to see more detail, better condition through the legs and whatever. And we brought that to finals. And the feedback I got in finals was like, say, night and day contrast. Stage presence was a lot better because obviously the classic posing is new to me. And they were sort of like pleased with the shape of like overall. It's one thing we've known for a while is I need a lot more tissue in my upper body, which is where the main focus is going to go. I'd probably say 90% of the off-season focus is going into my upper body to bring up my arms, my triceps, my delts, my back in terms of width and in terms of thickness, and also sort of like my chest. So you could probably say, you know, there's a lot of work to be done there, but then it's amazing what you can achieve in such short space of time. The off season is going to be really enjoyable. Really looking forward to it because I do love a good growth phase. And now this is the point where things are really going to be more important going forwards, because I really want to make the 2026 season as best as I can be. Because having stepped into a classic lineup, I've already proved to myself, I've proved to my coach Ewan and a lot of people around me that classic is where I belong. Don't get me wrong, I used to enjoy competing in men's physique because I thought that was my place. But then having sort of stepped up a mark and stepped up a category, I guess you could say, that's where I found that enjoyment for classic physique as a whole. And that's where I want to stay long term. Of course, there's the view to kind of step even further forward still and step into an open bodybuilding category. But then you're probably looking at sort of like a bit further down the line, because I really want to sort of exhaust the opportunity that lays there for me in classic before thinking, right, okay, we've accrued a decent amount of tissue. Now it's time to step up another level. The one dream and the one goal that I've got in mind for, say, the 2026 season, even 2027, is I would absolutely love to get my pro card. And that's the one thing that I'm focusing on right now. Again, you could probably sit back and say, well, yeah, of course, everybody wants their pro card. But this is one thing that I think would be something incredible for me to shoot towards. And it gives me a focus. It gives me a goal to look at, something to fight for. Because yes, okay, this year we didn't make it into first call-outs. We got into second call-outs. So, of course, the emphasis going into 26 is to get into first call-outs and at least be fighting for one of them top spots, which between myself and Ewan, Emma, my fiance, and a few other people around me, we really feel and believe that that's doable going into next season. And it means that no stone's going to be left unturned to try and get to that point. So you probably are looking, I guess you could say, at the 2027 season where I would be shooting more for my pro card, which is a bit more of a realistic expectation, because it gives between, say, the beginning of November and I guess you could say the beginning to the end of June to really get a decent amount of growth in. And then, of course, it will then roll on to next year as well, between, say, October, November, and then June the following year. A lot of people have said to me, you need to take a lengthy growth season, 2-3 years, to really sort of bring up those body parts. But we really think and we really feel and believe that it's going to be doable within those 7 months to at least make some substantial improvements, which will then make the next competitive season even bigger still, even better, and really make a statement. So going from start to finish, it'll be going into a reverse and focusing on that for 8 weeks. Then it'll be a case of getting bloods done and then sort of carrying on that reverse for roughly another 4 weeks or so. Then we step into the off season once we potentially get the green light. There may be some health concerns in there. There might not. We won't know until we've had bloods done. Then it's drop into the off season and push all the way through. Keep it nice and lean. Keep body fat levels minimum to a minimum. So then at least we haven't got to go through like a mini cut or a diet during that growth phase with the view to start prep in June. Sounds mad to be thinking that far ahead in terms of like plans for next season. But this is how it works for me, my coach, those around me, is that we like to project things further forwards and actually have a clear-cut plan in terms of where we want to go with this. So that gives you a bit of an idea in terms of how things are going to look for me over the coming months. And as I say, I'm going to have approximately monthly vlogs going out because I'm just going to end up exhausting all opportunities. And it means you'll get a chance to see how things are rolling on. There may be a few other interesting bits and pieces dropped in there as well, in terms of like food shops, full days of eating, progress updates, training updates. If I go traveling or anything like that, then of course I'll take you with me and show you. Because during the off season, it's literally the same thing every day. Very little changes going on. And, you know, growing muscle is growing muscle at the end of the day. The more exciting stuff happens more regularly when you're on prep. So that gives you an idea in terms of how the next few months are going to look going into next year, going through the growth phase. So without waffling on too much, thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you can hit the like button, drop a comment and subscribe to my channel, share this with friends. It'd really mean a lot to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and hop in the bath and I will catch you in the next video.